Okay, so my question was, you guys mentioned that the LWs come from PEEP either as LWs, as assigned bundles, or packages. So
No,
we were,
there's a correction here. They only come from PIP as LLWs. There is no trace of design bundle or package at this stage of the project.
okay, when they enter from PIP, right? They're only LWs.
Yes.
Okay. And then
They,
they're bundled or packaged within the app, right?
yes.
Okay.
More than that, though, the design number and the package number are created in PTS, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And even the LLW is assigned in PTS. So we'll come to that today. This was a
Yes.
topic. This
You
was a
mentioned,
topic lightly.
yeah, I just want to say pretty quick that you mentioned, Monica, that normal CAP is one of the most complex workflows of a project. So I don't know if we can go like to any of the workflows of a project or normal CAP specifically.
We are doing PIP today, right? So let's do that. And I don't think so. We'll be left with time to cover that. Maybe next time.
Sure.
So this was a topic covered, means slightly touched in the first session that we had, where it was actually an introduction, but where does a LLW originate from? That related to that, we had lightly touched this topic. So basically, LLW, not LLW, a project. At this stage, we just call it a project because LLW is not assigned. Is defined and entered into the system in CPDS by capital planning. And that's where all the information comes that a project or task which needs to be done is coming along. So defined and groomed over there. From there, it goes to PIP. For that, I won't know too much details, but basically the information originates from CPDS and is groomed and sent to PIP, and then it's massaged a little bit in PIP, and then it goes through the interface process where it's interfaced to the actual PIP is an application too, but actual active applications where a project gets assigned a number and it's tracked and used all over the place. So basically, in terms of PTS, it interacts with PIP to get a LLW into PTS. So
Sorry, you cut a little bit. So from PIP to where? And then PTS?
PIP to PTS, yes. It comes from PIP to
Is
PTS.
oh, okay.
So just lightly, I said that in PIP, it comes from CPDS. So from CPDS to PIP to PTS, that's the path. And what happens in PIP is they have, they used to call it project interface system. Well, there are two systems. One, they enter the data or whatever data comes. If they have to massage, they massage or add whatever more information. And once they're done, they approve it and they interface it. When they interface it is the process where the PTS procedure or the API gets called and it gets into PTS. So Jocelyn, if ever says anything an issue, she's talking about the interface which they did. And when it's interfaced into PTS, it goes into various systems at the same time, like PPM, Oracle Financials, I think the budget module, and info, and that's
CPS,
all. And
CPS,
PPM, you said?
CPS.
CPS.
Mhm.
Oh, it does go there? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also
So
also from PIP? Oh,
what happens is first call it makes to PTS. PTS assigns a LLW number to the project, and then that I think travels all over the place into various systems. So, and if it fails to interface in one, it rolls back everything. So that all is there. So our API, the PTS API that it calls is internally uses the procedure proc underscore insert underscore LLW. This is a technical piece of it, but lightly I'm mentioning so that if you want, you can open and see it. So the API calls that internally. and that does all the processing. So it picks data from the pip tables and puts it, basically it's passed as parameters, a bunch of parameters, around about 15-20 parameters are passed to create an LLW into PTS. So it puts all those, most of them into LLW table, creates a status, default status, the basic information that is needed for a project to hold in PTS. So it goes into LLW. So the LLW gets assigned at this point of time. And then before that, they have an identifier at their end, which is, I think, DSF number or something like that. And then it gets all the attributes and puts them in LLW, creates a status entry in project T status, LLW status. And another attributes that it carries from there is funding source, nodes, activities. These have their own tables, and the significant one I would say is the funding source. Activity we don't use so extensively, means the application, the users don't use it so extensively, but it does come in. Nodes also is not used too much, but that comes in. And internally, that's the technical piece, but there's something called, there's lightly I'll tell because this will come more in the technical piece of it, that there are some tags that they define in CPS, and then those tags come into PIP and they come into PTS. But they call them tags and would define, say, A, B, C, D. Now, when it comes into PTS, the A would map to one attribute, the B and C could map to another attribute, and D could map to another attribute. So we get 4 attributes from there, but they get mapped to 3 attributes, 3 different attributes in PTS. We get 4 values of tags which get mapped to 3 attributes in PTS. So there is this which just basically populates the information into various attributes in PTS. So that procedure is what one would look into internally if we want to know the details of what goes where. So at this point of time, the LLW is generated and a project gets created with default values and the starting status, which is ideally most of the projects that come through, 80% are normal CIP projects to start with, or capacity projects also come through. CIP projects mostly come in as normal CIP projects. And from there onwards, because it's at the very initial start of the project, there's a lot of flexibility to change it to anything else that is needed in terms of management template. So they change it if they need to. Sometimes they ask us to do bulk updates of management template because they feel there is limitation of the number of management templates that can be defined in PIP at the initial stage, which is there's an enhancement coming up, which is going to open up more management templates, and so that projects could come as they want them to come, and they don't have to do a bulk update after the project is initiated. So that's one enhancement coming through. There's some more tags they're going to define, which would map to different values, different attributes in PTS. So that would be another change coming. So when that change comes and it's talked about, you probably could correlate if a little bit I introduce you to that. So that's how the project gets created in PTS. And once it gets created in PTS, it can be used by other applications because everything revolves around a project, an LLW number, which stands for lowest level of work. So that's the most granular level of work they define. And then this also I've touched, but since you raised the design bundle and package, lightly I'll tell. And once the LLW level work is done, which is handled by ODC or project controls, it gets A&E works off, they club together quite a few LLWs, one or many, to form a design bundle, and they work off design bundle. So the design bundle comes at a later stage in the project life cycle of a project, not too late, but step 2 or the department 2 that works on it. And every project doesn't go through A&E. The emergency projects, like that's a different management template, which is a subset, as I told, that goes from project controls directly to construction. It doesn't go through design and everything. So it's a quick fix kind of project of any emergency work that has to be done. So it doesn't go through all the stages of the project. So other department or stages bid and award and everything is bypassed and directly construction is started on them. But when I said normal CIP is the one which is the template which goes through the most granular form of a life cycle of a project. So that is what you were asking, Aldo, that a normal CIP project. Normal CIP project, if you open any, the best way to see that is open PTS application, search for a normal CIP project. I would say take some status which is towards the end, so that it's completed its life cycle, because if it's not completed its life cycle, it'll show you the activities it has done till date. So for you to see the complete life cycle of a project, take a normal CIP project, take the status and
like this
close
one,
out.
right? SCA normal, CAP normal.
Yeah, and take status
And
as something in close out, so that it's towards the end, tail end, or it's a closed out project, something like that. So it's a CMCN construction. It's no close out, close out. There's something called close out.
yes, I already selected closeout.
Okay. And then what is
SAS
it? Completed. Say
the
completed.
min and then complete as well over here.
You could take active also, but let's take completed. Now, what is the first project number? If it's a very old project, please don't take that. What is the number?
12,741,7.
Yeah, that's fine. Click on that. No, actually, okay, click will take you to API. Come out of it. Go back to the tabs on top. Go to the tabs on top.
Phase summary.
Phase, yes. This is what will show you that what all it goes through. So first thing when a project comes in through OIS, I'm saying, actually PIP used to be called OIS before. So when a project comes in from PIP, it'll be in pre-scope. That's the initial stage of a project. Usually there's some documentation paperwork done and all. And then it goes to, what is that?
A scope. After pre-scope is scope.
Scope. So after pre-scope, it goes to scope. Scope and design, the two activities are done by A&E department. So they belong to A&E. And then comes RFC, bid and award, which is contract administration, which does all that. And once it's bid out, it's given out for construction, which is handled by construction management. And then closeout is another, I think, more of documentation where closing of a project is done. So basically, the project goes through all these phases, which is the most extensive life workflow of a project. Others are subset, like for example, stay here, don't go anywhere. But if we had taken a design construction no NTP project, the difference would have been for best way to see this is what I'm saying. Take examples of that and see it the way you're seeing normal CIP at your own pace. But when you go to a design construction or NTP project, it will have pre-scope, it will have scope, design, RFC, and bid and award would be eliminated. As the name says, it's design, construction, no NTP. So from design, it will go directly to construction, and there'll be a no NTP letter for it. In this case, the normal CIP project, when it comes to construction, the construction only starts when the NTP letter is issued. NTP stands for Notice to Proceed. It's a formal letter given out to the contractor to commence the construction work with all the dates and duration and the amount and all. Its contract signing thing. So that's how. So in design construction, no NTP. There would be in construction stage, there would be no NTP. So for such projects, when you go to issue, and basically it wouldn't allow you to create NTP letters. The button would be hidden or disabled. Another one is normal CIP, design construction, no NTP, construction, no NTP. So that is the one where it goes, as I said, that's mostly used for emergency projects where it goes from pre-scope to construction directly, and there's no need for an NTP letter over there. Work starts without NTP letter. So 3 I took, and now what else is there? Do a reset. Let's see what all management templates are there. select the agency as SCA. Okay, normal CIP we did, construction, no NTP we talked about. Normal capacities, capacity project has its own workflow. So that's for a capacity project, which is a much different project from CIP. CIP is for stands for capital improvement projects, which is, any enhancement, any fixes, all those done to our school. And capacity is where the seats get increased, like they're adding a wing to the school, they're adding classrooms, they're adding library, they're adding auditorium, something like that. When anything, most of them are additions. And then there's FNE only. FNE only stands for furniture and equipment. And those are procurement projects where they're procuring something, like if for the computer lab, they want to procure new computers because the old ones are obsolete. So basically, they're just procuring equipment. There's no construction piece associated with them. So this this again has a different schedule where not much is tracked about it. And then emergency construction, no NTP we talked about. Design construction, no NTP we talked about. Why are they appearing again and again? SCA normal CIP, FNE component. Okay. The SCA normal CIP FNE component is a normal construction project with the FNE component attached to it. Means there's construction going on. There's a computer lab being, created or anything or fixed, and they're going to procure new computers also. So that's a dual component project. Sometimes you'll hear the word dual component. And so that's where it's a blend of construction and procurement. And what else we have? SCS CTF. CTF stands for, I don't remember what CTF stands for. But CTF projects are the ones where they follow this I'll probably reach out later because this has a little twist to it where till a certain stage it's maintained by SCA and then it's given out. So the status also till certain stage would say the agency as SCA and later would say CTF, but that exact I've forgotten. And okay, now we have design construction, no NTP. SCA emergency design construction, no NTP. No, there's another one, a scope only and design
You're
only,
still looking
right?
at the management templates?
Yes.
Okay.
So now the only two which I know are the design scope only, the normal CIP, but the template type is scope only. So that is nothing, but that is a kind of a small detour for the normal CIP project. What happens is a project starts as normal CIP project. When they reach the scope stage, they're waiting for some documentation which is kind of bringing it to a hold, and they cannot proceed beyond scope until that has come. So for anybody to move the project beyond, so that they're not able to move the project beyond, what they do is they change the management template to SCA normal CIP scope only. You see that as one of the last ones in the
Sorry, selected some.
it is there, right, in management template.
This one, design.
Scope only and design only. Yeah, the last one that you're seeing. That is construction, no NTP. That is SCA what? Capacity? What does this say?
This one that I'm selecting, it says SCA design, no NTP, scope only.
Yes. Yeah, you'll see the scope only ones. That's what I'm trying to tell what they are. They are template types which in between the life cycle of a project, it takes this template type for a little while. So say a normal CIP project is in scope and then they realize that it's going to be in scope for a little while because some paperwork from somewhere has to come and then only it can proceed to design it. It should not proceed to design until that approval is got or any documentation required is got. So what they do is they come and change the management template to scope only. what that does is it's still a normal CIP project, but it doesn't allow it to move beyond scope. So it's basically a dead end situation kind of till then, until they release this hold. It's a kind of a temporary hold where it doesn't allow you to go beyond scope. Similarly, we have design only, where for similar reasons, if the project is not supposed to go beyond design phase, we change the management template to design only, and then the project is not allowed to go beyond design. So it keeps the control for them. And once that's the whatever is required, they get it, they release and bring it back to the normal track, which is normal CIP project. And then from there it goes to RFC, bid and award, and whatever is its normal cycle. So scope only, design only, where the template type is scope only, design only, are basically temporary holds for normal CIP project, for design construction or NTP project. And these holds are just defined for scope and design phases only. So it would apply only to the projects which go through scope and design, which are normal CIP and design construction or NTP project. So along with them, you will see this. And the three pieces I told you, right? When you see on API page, go to API page. This also I've told before, but I'll just refresh on that. When you see management template type, it's three-piece component. First is the agency, which is SC in this case. Second one is the management template, which kind of defines the workflow. The third one, the template type, in most of the cases is same as the management template, because we created the structure so that we could accommodate the scope only and design only, which are detours or temporary holds in the life cycle of a project. So in this case, it's design only, which means this project is a SCA, is done by SCA. It's a design construction or NTP project and cannot go beyond scope at this point of time. Once they have what they need for the scope to proceed, for it to proceed beyond scope, they will come and change this to you. If you are in what? You are in UAT, right? Can you drop down? What does it say?
Which drop down?
Management template drop down. Does it allow you?
There's only one option for this one.
No, I think it doesn't allow you at this point of time. So basically it'll allow, means I don't know if you don't have the rights, I think so. But that's
Oh, yes,
why
I
it's
have
not.
every single right in UAT, but maybe there's no.
Although I am again correct, sometimes when you have everything doesn't mean you have everything. One overlaps the other, right?
Oh, okay.
Yesterday we saw.
Yeah.
Remember we proved it. So,
Yeah, on Thursday or Friday. Yes.
yeah, so I don't know about this one, but basically you can release the scope only by change of management template. So basically when they get the green light that they can remove the scope only hold, they will come here and change it to SCA, design construction no NTP, design construction no NTP. So it goes through its basically normal life cycle of its project and goes to the end. So these are the three pieces to it. Second and third most of the times would be same, except for this scope only, which are temporary holds, and design only. So this is how the project comes. Okay, now attributes, like go to amounts tab. Yeah. Attributes like DOID construction, authorized amount, everything comes from PIP. And data gets refined over here. The only other thing to keep in mind is when it gets refined over here, it never goes back to PIP. PIP has its original value which it passed. And it's a one-way update from PIP to PTS. One way from PIP to PTS and only one time. If PIP updates something later, we don't take it also. They don't send it, we don't take it. Of course, we update something, it never goes there. It's one way. So PTS to PIP is not there at all. And PIP to PTS is also one way at the time when a project is initiated. After that, whatever they may change, it will never come. So that is another thing to keep in mind.
Monica, do we have CSI codes in PTS?
No.
There used to be a CSI code maintenance screen.
Yeah. I will check, but I think no.
Okay.
And what else? That's about it I could tell you for pip. Rest is check into the API, the procedure for knowing more details. And it goes into these basic tables. And there's a log table called insert LLW log, where a log entry is put of success or failure. There could be a failure that the project did not get created for some reason. So then the failure, the error message, everything is trapped in that. The attributes passed are also captured into the log table so that if we want to troubleshoot, we can take it. Of course, we can ask them to give it to us, but we have those parameters passed in that. We have the error log, we have the success or failure, the day it was initiated. So that's one table, and that's about it. I think I could tell for inserting a LLW. What's the time? And I
Okay.
think the time is almost over, but I'll leave 2
Yeah.
minutes for any questions.
Maybe next class or 1 week from now, we can look at, I don't know if that's too technical, and how the management template type affects, or I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. I mean, if the what is the life cycle of an NLW? I think that you already told us about this, that we can look at the life cycle over here. But I
It's
just
the
want to
various
move
phases
on.
it goes through. Like,
Yeah.
how for life cycle SDLC for us is we do analysis, then design, then development and all that. So those are the various phases of a project we do, right?
Yeah.
Requirement gathering, this. So it's on the same lines for a construction project, it's pre-scope, scope, design. These are the various phases.
Oh, that
Construction
will be the
relates to
same. That will be the
development.
same as requirement gathering. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Design is design, construction is development, closeout is implementation.
Oh, okay. That's a great translation.
Easy to remember.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right then. We continue next class.
Thank you, Monica.
no problem. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.